Have you ever walked into a store, seen dozens of options for a single product, and then you just end up leaving with nothing? Or even worse, regretting what you picked? Or how many times have you opened Netflix not knowing what you wanted to watch, and there's so many different options that you just sit there scrolling for ages, and even the choice that you have, you're just there like, you know what, it wasn't that good. I'm Sanj and welcome back to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Coach. I'm here to help you break free from the monotonous grind life, help you get from surviving to thriving, from stuck to unstoppable. And I do that by helping you change your mindset, shift your perspective to help you master your life. And today we're tackling something that affects every single one of us, and that is decision making. Barry Schwartz once said that the secret to happiness is actually low expectations. But in today's world, where literally choice is celebrated as the ultimate freedom, do you realize that it could be the thing that's holding you back? It could be the thing that's actually stopping you from being really happy. How many times have you sat there and thought to yourself, I don't know what to choose? When it comes to eating, you're overwhelmed by the choices of the menu. When it comes to shopping, the number of options that you have. When it comes to just doing anything, there are so many things out there. There's so many options for you to decide from. And it's just overwhelming. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about why more options actually lead to worse decisions, and how this overload of choice actually impacts your happiness, it impacts your energy, and what effect it has on your relationship. Just stick with me, because by the end of this episode, you'll actually have some actionable tips as well to help you make decisions with confidence and clarity. So, in theory, we crave endless choices. We want to have so many options available to us. We've been conditioned to believe that the more options we have, the better our lives will be. You think that, oh yeah, if I have all these options, you think that the variety is a spice of life. But the truth is, research actually shows that by having too many options, it doesn't lead to more satisfaction. It actually leads to inaction. It leads to paralysis by analysis, because as I said, as I use for example, how many times have you sat there scrolling through Netflix looking for something to watch, and you just settle on watching a show that you've seen 100 times before? How many times have you done that? Or you go to a restaurant, one that has, say, 30 different things on the menu, and you still go for the same thing that you always do. That's choice overload in action. When you're offered too much, you are more likely to actually choose if you're offered too many options, you're either likely to not go for anything, or you're going to choose something that you've chosen before. A study showed that when people were offered 24 flavors of jam, only 3% made a purchase. But when the options were reduced to 6 flavors, then 30% of people made a purchase. Because when you've got too many options, it actually drains your energy, because decision making is mentally exhausting. You're faced with endless choices. What are you going to wear? Where are you going to go? What are you going to eat? Who are you going to spend time with? Every single thing. If you think about the number of options you have in a day, the number of decisions that you have to make, you're experiencing something called decision fatigue. And that actually makes you more likely to make either impulsive decisions or make poor choices. So, just example, how many times have you sat there wondering what you want for dinner? And then you don't know, you want to eat healthy, but actually because you're just so overwhelmed with the number of choices, you end up just choosing fast food, getting a takeaway pizza or something, because you're too exhausted to think about all the healthy options. Having too many options actually can lower your happiness, because when you have more choice, you're less satisfied with your decision. You're constantly then wondering if you could have done something better, if you could have had a better choice. And then in your relationships, it can add stress unnecessarily. You arguing with your spouse, with your partner, with your kids, with your friends about what to watch, where to eat, what holiday to go on. There are too many options actually makes it harder to collaborate. It makes it harder to actually sit there and sit together and actually come up with a choice that you both like. Because if there's 25, say, different options, each of you will have a different order in which you want to go to those 25 in most cases. And so then it just makes life more stressful for you. Because when you actually then cut down those choices, when you actually think to yourself, you know what, I don't need 25 choices. When you give yourself fewer options, that's when you can start thinking differently. That's when you can start behaving differently. That's when you're less tired. Imagine having more energy to make decisions. It's actually been shown that when you're hungry or when you've made too many decisions, or at the end of the day, your decisions are worse than first thing in the morning. You actually have an amount of willpower, and you're using it every time you're making decisions. When you're making these decisions, you're choosing, okay, do I want to choose the good thing or the bad thing? You will find that you make healthier choices earlier in the day where your energy is higher, where your willpower is higher. So then when it comes to later on in the day, when you're tired after spending a whole day making decisions, you're going to make worse decisions. Yeah, so when you cut down your choices, it actually leads to better decisions. It's magical. Your clarity increases because then you're more focused on what truly matters. You no longer need to pick from 20 different options. You need to just pick from 4. Your confidence grows because you stop second guessing yourself. Because from those 4 options, you can then actually know which one you want the most. And with fewer regrets, because your confidence is growing, you're going to regret less. And so with fewer regrets, you enjoy your decision more. So as a result, your happiness improves. So just think about it. Would you rather choose from 50 items on a menu or 10 well thought out dishes? Simplifying choices saves time. It reduces your stress, and it just makes life overall better to be more enjoyable to be lived. And that's where we need to start thinking differently. How have you noticed how the best restaurants, they don't have an extensive menu with 50 different things on it? They have maybe 10 dishes, 10 main dishes, 5 starters, and maybe 5 desserts. Because they know that actually too much choice is overwhelming. And when, as well, the chef in the kitchen, rather than focusing on knowing how to make 50 different dishes, they can focus on making their 10 best dishes and making sure that the service is top notch, that your confidence in them is absolutely up there, because you know that they're going to be serving you the best of the best. And with that, their happiness improves and your happiness improves. You know you're going to be getting a good quality dish. So if you want to start actually making better decisions, there are 3 techniques here which you can actually use today to make better decisions. Number 1 is set clear priorities. Before making a decision, ask yourself, what is your ultimate goal? Whether it's about your relationships, whether it's about work, whether it's about your family. When you know your priorities, you will filter out all unnecessary options. You won't care about things as much. If you've set priorities, you'll know what you need to focus on. So next time, instead of browsing 100 workout plans, decide, actually, is it strength you want to focus on today? Is it cardio? Is it flexibility? What is it that you want to focus on today? And then you have cut that down from, say, 100 workouts down to, say, 30 workouts or 20 workouts, 10 workouts. And then from there, if you've even got clear priorities, okay, today I want to work my arms. So then you know, actually, I've then cut down that 100 workouts to 10 workouts. And then you're at the gym for an hour. Okay, that gives you 6 minutes per workout. So when you set clear priorities, it makes it easier for you to make a better decision. The next thing is limit your options. Yeah, try a rule of 3 in anything that you do. Try and give yourself just 3 options to choose. The fewer choices you have, the easier it is to decide. And also then, the more confidence you'll have in your decision and the happier you'll be. So consciously narrow down your options to avoid overwhelm. For example, every time you go to a restaurant, say, okay, I'm going to give myself a chicken option, lamb option, and a seafood option. Finally, adopt the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. It states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. So focus on those few decisions that will actually make the biggest impact in your life. All the other stuff is small stuff, and don't sweat the small stuff. So for example, if you're redecorating your living room, focus on the sofa and the lighting. These are the 20% of the things that create 80% of the atmosphere. So when you start to do things like that, you'll actually make it automatically. You'll start being more confident in your decisions. So the first thing, set clear priorities. 2, limit your options. And 3, adopt the 80-20 principle. Focus on the 20% that gives you 80% results. So think about it. What decisions in your life could you simplify right now to free up your energy, your time, and your happiness? Remember, life isn't about making the perfect choice. It's about making the right choice for you at this moment. It's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So what are you going to do today? What action are you going to take? What decisions are you going to shift right now to make your life one that you truly love to live? You don't need every option under the sun to live a fulfilled life. You just need clarity, intention, and the courage to decide. So go out there, simplify, and start living. Thank you for listening today. And if you got something from this episode, as always, leave me a rating, leave me a review, leave me a comment knowing what your biggest takeaway from this episode was. And if you know someone who could benefit from hearing this, please share it with them. Remember, you're here to make the best of your life. And if you want to master your life, you need to master your mindset. So learn to build confidence in your decision making. Learn to be happier with your decision making. And learn to make easier decisions. Shift your mindset to do this. You'll be seeing how much happiness, how much less stress, and how much more fulfilled you'll feel in life. Thank you.